Yeah, and then I'm in the live Zoom, and suddenly it's foggy as heck. Okay, participants. Yes, Demora design. Admit. Hey, Giocondo. Give me the real Italian pronunciation. Oh, you have to unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, click the little microphone.
It's Giocondo.
Giocondo.
There you go.
Giocondo.
There you go. You got it.
That is so beautiful. Great to see you.
Great to see you too.
So I'm so sorry I wasn't able to switch the timing, but you know, there are many more to come, I should hope.
Sure.
And yeah.
Okay, great. Good.
So because I promised to do more drawings, I just want to show this to you right away. I don't know whether you can actually, you can't really see it unless I have some more white behind it. I made a front view, but I'm always so faint because I'm so insecure.
Right. It's all right. You know, if you have access to a scanner,
Yes.
scan it, send it in, that'd be great.
Yes. And of course, I'll do more. It's just been such a time crunch that,
No problem.
yeah.
Yeah, just understand that with all of this, what's important is, you know, to understand how the relationship is between the spaces is one thing, but then actually take those relationships and place them on a site. That's actually very important as well. So the site is needed because when we design to a particular site. Even though, you know, it might be a facility that just does, you know, some sort of assembly or anything. It's still the relationship within the facility is one thing, but then how that facility is placed on the site, circulation, you know, access, that kind of thing, that's important as well. So it's always important to have a site when you're actually putting together a design.
Right. Of course, we're dealing with many more aspects. That's the aspect of the Mike Sykes design, south-facing. So we're looking at properties only if they have slightly south-facing slope, or so that, you know, all those things, and road access. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
And the functionality of course, a utility building as opposed to a residence, right? So, yeah. Have you done any kind of functional or industrial?
We've done. We're working on a dispensary right now in Massachusetts on Cape Cod, and that's been ongoing now. It's about 11,000 square feet, so it may not be huge, but it's big enough to keep you busy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what kind of dispensary? What's being dispensed?
It's a marijuana dispensary.
Mm-hmm.
They legalized it in Massachusetts a while ago.
Yeah, I know. Mm-hmm. A while back. Yeah. Yeah. We've been, my assistant, who will continue working with us, he's actually also, can you go on?
It's loaded.
Okay. He's coming on. Was talking to me about the possibility of having, just as an income stream, you know, having some marijuana of some kind, or CBD as well. Okay, now you need to turn your sound up.
How's that?
Oh, You still have your sound open for some reason, even though you
I'll
are.
just turn it.
How's that? Any better?
Did I sign you out? Are you still in the
No,
meeting? Okay.
you just signed you out, but you were also coming up as Johanna Sophia. Maybe that's because of the laptop. All right, now where is our dear Leland and where is Mike and where is everybody else? So here I have my wonderful agenda and people are not on time.
Go figure, meetings.
Of course. So yeah, I'm really excited about the broad spectrum of different designs that you have been involved with in these things that I see on your website. You said there's many more in the meantime.
Right.
So I would love to see more. And yeah, the entire building is of course also a statement and a piece of art, and the functionality should be there. So I think I may have mentioned that my background is Waldorf, and if you ever looked at
Yep.
international Waldorf schools, there's all kinds of wonderful designs
Right.
of varying kinds. Just the ones in the US are pretty boring. Okay, I'm going to call.
Do you have to let me in the room or something? Or did I start my own meeting?
You were in this meeting as me, and I didn't have to let you in. Normally I have to let people in, which is
Right,
really
so for
weird
me, I
too.
gotta wait for the host to start this meeting.
So then you're in a different.
Yeah, let me do this.
Mm-hmm.
I got it.
Jaconda, you didn't send the email saying that you couldn't be on to everybody, did you?
No, I didn't. I
Okay, good.
I just sent it to you.
Yeah, and then of course I said we're on anyway twice, but some people don't open all their emails.
That's true.
Okay, there we go. Okay. Leland is not on. And where is Mike? Mike says his wife does his technology for him. So let me try and call him. This is not good. So you just, Jaconda, you just clicked on the link that I sent
Yep.
again today, right? And it worked right away. So I'm not understanding why. We're having difficulties.
This morning, you just got one email from me, correct?
No, I got doubled. I got two, but it's the same email. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I'm going out here and.
No problem. I mean, we can quickly talk if you wish. I mean,
Yeah, that's what we're going to have to do if everybody else is absenteeism. I had this discussion with Leland that he couldn't make this evening work, and then I said, okay, we'll leave it.
maybe misunderstood. Okay.
Leland and Grant Ferrier are the two funders, the two brokers for organic and or sustainable projects. Grant Ferrier has funded primarily food products, organic companies, and for example, one of them was organic whey powder, protein powder that was produced by Tara Johnson, called Tara's Whey.
Okay.
And she was able to build a $14 million factory before she started doing anything. So
Okay.
I'm following her model a little bit more this time with the relaunch than the first time where we did everything on a shoestring budget.
Right.
And I was going to talk about that. But I don't understand what is happening. Nine one nine 5562391. I'm calling Mike Sykes.
Sure.
We spoke actually 2 days ago. Yeah, on Monday.
Good afternoon.
Mike, it's Johanna Sophia. Are you able to get on the Zoom call? We're on actually.
Oh, okay. Let me.
Go into your email and just click on the link. That should put you right in.
I was just at my email. I haven't seen anything yet. Did you just send it?
No, I sent it yesterday and again this morning. Oh, look in your spam folder because I sent it to several people of the group at once. That sometimes throws it in the spam or bulk folder.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to walk out to the office where the computer is, and we'll look at it.
Yes, please. I'm on with Giocondo, our designer architect, if this can all come together.
Okay.
And of course, he's excited to talk to you because he has actually studied your system and is interested in how that all.
Can we talk now on the phone as opposed to the other thing?
To the Zoom call?
Yeah.
We could do that.
I can hear him.
Okay, Giocondo can hear you. I
Okay.
have the sound all the way up. Good. Then I will go. I wanted to do this introduction, but we're missing another person. We're missing the funders who actually wanted this meeting.
Okay.
The funder brokers, I should say.
Okay.
But the fact that the two of you can speak will be a good start.
Right.
So
I'm going to see if I can reach Emmy on my other phone and see if she can find that stuff.
okay.
It's a possibility.
Yes.
So, okay, let's see. So there's also the possibility she won't answer because she's on the phone with someone else. I heard her phone ring.
Yes. That's what happens. So let's just begin. We're recording this meeting, and so that the dialogue will be preserved. I just wanted to quickly introduce how I got to meet both of you, and that was initially a politician from, I think, Connecticut, Janine Salendi, was meeting with me, met me at a solar event. At one point, I designed solar systems just because I thought I could design, and so I sold a few systems and installed them too. But that was not very viable as a single mom, doing that for income and at small scale. So I met her and she said, I need to show you something that you'd be interested in, because I was already planning my large conference center project for the future. And I was at the time actually writing a documentary script for that German television wanted to do, called Window into the Future. So all of this kind of came together, and Janine called me and said, look at this, you need to look at this building system. And that was Mike Sykes' inertia building system. And I will never forget it. When I saw that, I thought, my God, Earth has been providing everything we need all along, and we're just too stupid to use it. Sunshine for heat, Earth temperature for cooling, and it's all there, right? And all we need to do is capture it and use it. So that was my sort of heart-wrenching experience at the time. And I said, if ever I get to build this large project, then I will work with Mike Sykes. So hopefully we're all still alive when this all comes together. But
Okay.
And then on my trip in 2007 around the country, I made sure to stop at your office, and we went to your very first building in North Carolina.
When was this?
In 2007.
Okay.
And you are actually in my book about that trip. There's actually a photograph of you and me standing at the drawing table, drawing this larger space. And you were explaining to me that the angle on the inside walls or outside walls of the south side don't have to be exactly straight facing south, but can be up to 20 to maximum 40 degree angle. I think 40 is too much. 20 to 25. Is that what it was?
Well, it would be 40 down here in North Carolina, but probably 25 up there in New York.
Yeah, because of, less sunshine. So we were standing there doing this. And of course, that is how we met. And I have not forgotten that you said the larger, the better if it's done right, in terms of
Correct.
The building and creating the self-sustenance in terms of heat and cooling and so forth. So that's how we met. And I am so excited to say that recently, again, Leland Lehrman, who is not with us, I don't understand why, because he had all the particulars, said, this is the time to do this. And he has funded a bunch of organic products and various sustainability projects over the last 10 years, comes out of IT and the finance world, and wants to see that we can get this financed. And he thinks we will not have a problem because all our ducks are pretty much in a row if we have a good core team and a good concept, which he thinks this is. So that's how we're getting to purchasing land up here in upstate New York, because there's already kind of the atmosphere is there for people interested in healthy food. And we want to start with the factory. In the meantime, my avenue to that large conference center project has been via strange back roads and creating a food company first. When my kids were teenagers, we founded johannesrawfoods.com. And why that happened is because when they were in middle school, I had a stroke and I switched my diet to raw foods. And that's why I'm so happy and healthy now, and created all these gourmet recipes, and then for restaurants and for private parties, etc. So that's how the food company came about. But I now see it as the beginning of the larger project in the relaunch. So in the meantime, we've had a factory in an old diner building, actually, and produced enough to supply over 200 stores. And so we have all those industrial experiences and connections in the commercial world and around the globe, obtaining ingredients, etc. So this can be the start for the larger project, because also people will learn how to make food. Oh, I need to plug the phone now because I'm on the phone also. Thank you. Oops. Oh, this is interesting. Can you give me more stretch on the extension here? Yeah, of course. I did not expect to be on the phone, but we make it work.
Okay.
We make it work.
Okay, thank you.
It's all plugged in. All right, so that is the story. The smaller factory had to close down 5 years ago because we ran out of cash flow as we grew very rapidly and the demand was greater than we could supply. And we now are in a position to use all those contacts and experiences to launch properly by having our own building with our own machinery, with our own concepts that are all out, organic, sustainable, futuristic. But I see the future as being, the only way we can survive on the planet and have the planet survive in a pleasant manner, let's say, not in desertification, is via going with the biology of planet Earth, which is, I think, what all of us involved in this project are doing.
That's kind of why I wrote that new website, and it's only been up there 3 days now.
Yes, so exciting, and that's exactly the point, right? For your new website,
Yes.
the
That's
message
correct.
of sustainability. Yeah,
It is, and we put it up because we're getting older. You know, at some point, someone else is going to have to carry on. So we decided to try to get our point across. I hope somebody will pick that up.
Mhm.
You know.
Okay, Jaconda, this is probably where you introduce yourself.
Hi there. My name is Gio. I'm an architect out of Vermont, and I work
Okay,
with
she's very faint. I got the word Vermont.
Can you go closer to the microphone?
My name is Gio.
Gio.
Gio. I'm an architect from Vermont, and I work with a firm called Tomorrow Studio. We're very much into the green building aspect of building,
Okay.
and what we've done is we're actually delivering a lot of our projects through a factory delivering system, or a type of process where there's the least amount of disruption to the site when you're building something like that. So, but other than that, I myself have actually looked through your website. I don't know if I was at your new website. Was that inertia.com? Is that your new website?
Yes. We actually have 3 houses in Vermont, actually. We had a dealer in Vermont for a long time, and his sister got sick, so he retired to look after her. So
Right.
we kind of lost that business.
Right. No, but I saw the video from, I guess it was interviewing that lady from Connecticut. The house was in Guilford.
I'm totally losing you.
Yeah,
Mr.
Jaconda is saying he saw the video where the people who have a house in Connecticut,
No, it was in
Okay.
Guilford.
Yeah.
Guilford, Connecticut, are describing their experience.
Sure. We also have one in Mount Holly, Vermont, but we haven't been able to get up there and video them. I don't even think you can travel to Vermont right now, to be honest.
Yeah, that may be so. So let me just recap a little bit for you, Mike. Jaconda's office is called Tomorrow Studio, right? Jaconda, I can hear you very well. So
Good. Yes,
Yeah.
my office is called Tomorrow Studio. Yes.
Yeah, Tomorrow Studio. And as far as I can see, you're using lots of natural materials already, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
It's also an emphasis on integrating the building into the site so that it makes sense where it is located. And the aesthetics and the natural materials and all of that is I think also what interests him in working with you, combining that new aesthetics with the technology and the sustainability that your system provides. So I think the right thing to do would be, since the next step that we need is some kind of a more architecturally reliable sketch of the, I made that little sketch from the view on top of the factory. And I just today made a front view, but it's not strong enough to be read in the camera. I'm too timid, I guess, in my drawing. But ideally, the three of us or four of us, if Leland wants to join, I don't understand why he is not here, but let me not repeat that forever. So we would meet, and we need for the proposal for the financiers will include a PowerPoint presentation, a spreadsheet with all the numbers and return on investment, et cetera, and expenses of building and starting up the run of the factory, and funding for the first 3 months of operation is in there as well, the first quarter, so that we're getting to this $7 million window, which we think is needed to have a cushion in the back, because food production is so volatile and you need your ingredients so much in advance, and your contracts, et cetera, of when you're getting paid. I already have that experience, so I know.
You're buying your food, you're not growing it, right?
Yes, we're not growing it. That is not viable for the product line that I have, because the products are based on American flavors and making super healthy food readily accessible for people on the run who need something high energy, high nutrient dense quickly. So they're all ready to eat, mix and match products. If you want to know what they are carrot crackers, veggie burger bites, little crunchy, nutty bites, and ginger brownies. Those are the three dry and dehydrated products. And then there
I think Emily has looked at them extensively. She's
cool.
Has more interest in that.
Yeah, good. Okay, and then there's 4 frozen products, and those are kale and parsley pesto. So it's actually thick enough that you can just eat it on your cracker. And cashew dream cheese, which is a cashew cheese. When I started out, there weren't as many on the market. Now there are a lot of cashew cheeses. And 2 sweet products, blueberry chocolate mousse and coconut truffles. So you can see you could make a meal out of 2 or 3 of these products. You could carry them with you as snacks for a lunch break, etc. So it's a on-the-go, grab and go, ready to eat product line of high quality organic ingredients that you wouldn't eat just that food 24/7, but it is, it has worked very well in the stores where we were. So that, that various people love each of the products particularly. That's how it goes. So those are the products.
You mentioned how many square feet you think you need?
Yeah, we were sitting at this large space in upstate New York, and he was saying he has 50,000 square feet on each floor, or was it 5,000? No, 50, I think he said. It's. I mean, we don't need that much. No, I haven't figured out.
Be more than 1 floor.
Oh no, we need 3 floors and a basement, and the basement and on the one side of the building, even 4 floors where the 8 apartments are. When we last spoke, Mike, I don't know whether you remember, we were talking about that there are 8 apartments in the building, and offices and an academy where up to 100 students can come and study, and the production hall, and a large walk-in freezer room and a large walk-in cooler room on the north side. So
we did one building recently since you met us,
yeah.
which several people are thinking about as an office building, and it's called Meridian.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at that, the one you see is 2 floors, but we can go up to 3 floors on the basement.
Mm-hmm.
It's a flat roof. Most of our houses have a peaked roof, but this one is a flat roof.
Yeah.
And, the other one you might want to look at is the condo in Belize.
Right. That one I saw.
Okay.
Yeah. That I've seen. Now, for us, Mike, it's particularly important that the design is different. I want to work, and that's what we were talking about when I was with you in 2007. I want to work not with rectangular shapes, but with wider angles and some round areas, so that the entire building is less a square and rectangular space.
Well, I remember that, and last night I sent you a picture of a round sun space.
Oh, cool. I didn't see that. I've been so busy preparing for this meeting.
Okay. But everything in the building has to pretty much be rectangular for structural reasons, but the sun space can be non-rectangular. It can be round or curved or S-shaped or whatever.
Yeah.
The sun space is independent, so that's where you can get your curves.
Great. Have you ever conceived of, or is it conceivable to have a courtyard that, however, has a glass roof? We were talking about, those glass solar tiles.
It's always better in our buildings to have the glass area around the building as opposed to being in the middle of it.
So on the roof, it would not be as good, because of course it would be a double layer.
You could have the sun space on the south, and then you could have a narrow section of it start to head north, so you would have like a T-shaped sun space.
Gotcha.
And the stick of the T would go north.
Yes.
It would almost be like 2 buildings with a atrium in the middle.
Exactly. Atrium is the word I was looking for. Thank you for saying that, because I've been talking about the courtyard, the covered as atrium is the right word. Yes.
Atrium when it has a roof. Yes. That's correct.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That T-shape, that is definitely what it could be.
And the top of the T, instead of being flat, could be round.
Yeah.
There,
Great.
You've got to start right now. You can start sketching.
Yeah. And then the loading deck would be on the north side, so that we don't have the trucks in the front. Oh yeah, my assistant just pulled up the round space as you've constructed it. That's beautiful. Yeah.
Sure.
That is so nice. Cool.
Do you have your land yet?
We are looking at 2 pieces of land. So
okay.
we have
that'll kind of determine where the loading dock is, probably.
Yeah, Giocondo is nodding wildly and says yes, that will totally determine things. Yeah. I mean, so many other odds, but conceptually, it would make more sense for us to have the cooler and the freezer room, which is where the products will be coming out of, especially the freezer room, into the trucks, would be on the north side and not clogging up any other side. Yeah. So
probably the north side basement, wouldn't you think, with the concrete floor?
Exactly. Yeah. But it could be taller. Somewhere. Yes, we're getting with everything. Jaconda, I'll be happy to translate
Well,
commentary.
no problem. I was actually curious.
Yeah.
In his buildings, does he make? He does make use of a air exchanging system.
Do you make use of air exchanging spaces?
We don't use air exchangers because you can do it manually.
Right.
You open the south window when the sun's out, and you let fresh air in, and it runs the loop and heats. And you can open another window in the inner shell and let it in. So you can manually do the exchange. The question in a big building like this, particularly with food products, is the state of New York is probably going to force you to do something you don't want to do.
What is that?
They may require it.
What would they require?
Air
A
exchange.
powered air exchange system.
Oh.
Food production.
Because they got all kinds of regulations having to do with food products.
Yeah.
And that's probably nationwide, right?
It's statewide, but they adopt the model code, the international code. So a lot of it is nationwide, and then each state has its peculiarities.
Yeah.
So then, in that case, if the facility that's producing the product requires, let's say the state requires them to have an air exchanging system, how would that relate to the let's say the separate areas, the other floors? Would they do the same thing, or like the apartments, could they be do they not need one?
Would the air exchanger requirement also include requiring the apartments to have that? I don't think so, right? That would be separate.
You're gonna run into regulations that require a distance between apartments and the factory building. I'm not even sure you can put them in the same building.
Huh. Okay. So there's lots more to research to find out whether we can even do what we're planning on doing. Of course, my first little factory was in this diner situation where there was actually originally an apartment in the back, but that was old stuff. So
Sure,
I guess a lot of
probably.
exactly grandfathered in, and so yeah, I'm not aware of those regulations. We have to learn a lot more about that.
Well, it's two different building codes too. The commercial building will be under the commercial code, and the other part might be under the residential code, which is a little more slack. So you may find it an advantage to keep them apart.
Yeah.
I mean,
So the whole thing, if the whole thing were a university and there would be student dwellings, it would still have to be separate. Yeah, because it's concerning food production. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Probably.
think it would be.
Yeah.
And then it would be called a dormitory, and it would have to have.
Yeah. We don't. Yeah. We don't have to declare it to be dormitory. We can just have it as residential units that we then offer to the students, as opposed to a university owned space. But yeah, those are all legal issues.
You can still use, with underground pipes, you can use the waste heat from the commercial to help heat the residential if they're next door to each other. Sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
That's true.
So what we need is the laws and codes for food production and residential.
For instance, you could put the condenser for your freezer in the residential with a 20-foot pipes between them, and use the waste heat from your freezer to heat the residential.
Yep.
Awesome. And then there's also the dehydrator room where we dehydrate the crackers and the veggie burger bites and the ginger brownies, and that produces 90 degree to 100 degree air heat that, as we had discussed 2 days ago, Mike, that can also be used, right? That heat can also be reused.
You want to use that in a commercial building because you can't pipe it through a little pipe like you can the Freon from a freezing unit. So
Gotcha.
You use that in the big building, and then your freezer heat you could pipe over to the residential building.
Wonderful. So residents probably separate. Why we have the residents in there is because of income streams needing to be created. The margins for food production are so small. If we want to have our own building, our own factory, it'll take forever to pay back the purchase of the land and the construction of the building. So we are figuring that having residential rentals right away, it creates immediate income stream. And the same is true for the academy, because the students are paying to learn. And I've long had the learning system established for the academy and have taught all those elements. Yeah, Jocondo.
It's possible, but it'd have to be checked. If you could have a commercial residential complex where, let's say one level would contain your food assembly, which is completely separate from your other tenants, if you want. But that would have to be checked, because in some places they do. I'm not sure. It would have to be checked for in New York to see. If
I mean, there would definitely be a separate entrance, and there would not be the same.
We have that here already.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do some.
And my assistant is just looking, and we're all looking to see. But that is the next step of research. Then, before we can actually make designs, we need to know a little bit more of what's possible of my vision and what we have to. Of course, I'm fully on board with going practical, because I want this thing to happen, not just to be in my head. So, yeah.
So the other thing which I wanted to ask you is that, so primarily the factory is what you want to start first.
I want to start the factory first, yes. The residential was an idea to enable the factory with immediate revenue.
Yeah, I understand that. And then you had offices there. Now the offices are for the factory and for the academy.
Yes. Now, when I had even my little factory, I had students come in from a center for intellectually challenged or other young people to learn how to work in a work environment. And that was possible. I didn't need any kind of special license for that. And the people who came were mostly autistic or on the spectrum, but not non-functional, just, societally or socially lesser function. So I have a little bit of that experience of bringing in people for learning purposes, but yeah, I don't know what the...
Well, you may want to incorporate the whole project as an educational one.
There you go.
Jacondo is saying so. There you go. That might be the avenue.
That might be the avenue.
Incorporating the whole project as an educational project, as opposed to a commercial venture. And we're currently estimating to produce 1,000 little packages a day, though. That's how we calculated the possibility of return on investment for investors. So it's quite a lot of machinery running.
All right. Well, the college I went to has a college dairy.
Yeah.
And they put out as much milk as a big commercial dairy, even though it's owned by the college.
Great. That's a wonderful model. Yes, exactly. So that is possible. And if that is still possible today, that's a great concept. Yes. So it means that the incorporation has to be renewed. I'm incorporated as a public benefit corporation, and that would just have to be switched. In fact, I was just leaving a message for my lawyers who did the incorporation this morning, so that's good. So, i.e., I might have to close the old corporation and reopen as a learning institution or as a educational institution. That's what you're saying, Jacondo and Mike?
A possibility. The lawyer will know more.
Yeah, the lawyer will know more. You'd have to. He would have to kind of guide you there. The idea that Mike came up with is an idea that's been used around before. You have to see if if New York will allow you to do that. That kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, push comes to shove, we go to a different state, whether it's up to Vermont or down to North Carolina or wherever. But yeah, but the entire emphasis is currently here because in upstate New York, there's so much happening, moving into a new paradigm for learning, for the planet, for our lifestyle, for food, and all of the above. So, how much do you have a sense of that in North Carolina, Mike?
We're located near Raleigh, which is the university area.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of organic growing, but most of that is in western North Carolina, like Asheville.
Asheville, yeah.
Yeah. So everything around here is industrial, commercial, of that nature.
Yeah.
So it just depends on where you are.
Yes. And I'm pretty sure every state has both sides of the spectrum in terms of healthier, better, or retrograde kind of retro, going back to good old oil and plastic.
Well, I mean, if you wanted to pick a state specifically for this, you would probably pick Oregon, but you may not want to go that far.
No, I might not want to go that far to Oregon. Yeah, I've been there, and yes, it's beautiful, but yeah, no. That's leaving behind too many friends and folks, right?
I'm not going there either. So
Good. We want you in the game. Good. All right. Jacondo, do we have other questions for Mike?
Actually, I'd like if I could. I'll give him a call because I'd like to ask him some other questions too. What's the number he can be reached at?
What's the best number? It's this number that I'm calling you on, Mike, right? To get you?
But it is a landline. You can't do any text or pictures. You have to use my email for that.
No problem. No problem.
No problem, he says. No problem. And he'll give you a call. That's Gio. I just love the Italian long word, Giocondo. But it seems he prefers Gio Susini of the architectural firm Tomorrow Studio. So
yeah, let him hook up by email and give me if they have a website. Let me have that, and I'll look at it.
Sure.
Yes, they do have a website, and he'll email that to you.
Sure.
Actually, we have relatives in Vermont.
Oh, cool.
We can't go see them now because of the 14-day issue. So
yeah. Yeah, it needs to go away. It will go away.
yeah, I think it will.
I have long decided that I don't do fear, so all the fear mongering doesn't touch me. So yeah, and I see Jacondo nodding, and all right. So let me just look over. Whom I have not introduced is, I have not said that the concept for the product line, however, is also Amy's Kitchen in the raw. Now, are you guys familiar with Amy's Kitchen?
Yep.
products. They're now in all supermarkets, etc. It's an organic or mostly organic frozen food product line. They now are in several states and even internationally. And they started as a family company. Yeah, and have just grown organically. And they're going to have a plant near us here. So I heard in Goshen.
We have only about 20 miles from us. We have a little family company. It got real big. It's called Burt's Bees.
Oh, of course. They've been bought up. Burt's Bees have been, I can't remember by
Bought
whom.
up by Clorox, I think.
By Clorox. Oh, my God. I guess
It's not family. It's not family anymore.
No. Oh, my God. Yeah, that's what happens. I don't want to be bought up. That's why I keep saying I want to grow like Amy's Kitchen and stay, have a certain amount of integrity as a product line and stay organic and stay clean as much as is humanly possible.
Good
So,
for you. There you go.
yeah. All right. Grant Ferrier, my other funder, also has a company called Environmental Business International, and they put out an international magazine that is purchased for thousands of dollars by large companies, providing all the regulations for sustainability that are coming up in all the different countries in the world. And they they support organic products and growing. And that's why Grant Ferrier was very interested in helping me get the next factory funded, because he sees the future of this product line as well. And I haven't said anything about Leland because I was still hoping he would jump in here. Leland is with the company Fund Balance, and that's how you find him, fundbalance.com.
Okay.
So again, funding sustainable organic companies, products, startups, and also relaunches and expansions and that kind of thing. But yeah, so there's this, my need for having a core team of high integrity is very great. I would also love to work with new kinds of banks. I only know 2 in Europe that I've already years ago connected with. They are not currently collaborating with branches or initiatives in America, but they do the kind of banking that is not for sheer profit, but goes into projects that, again, are all sustainable, all looking for the future, and monies circulate kind of, but are not in the circulation for the purpose of greatest profit, but for the purpose of greatest good for the greatest amount of people. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. Just so you know that I've also looked into the finance world and how this can all come together as an example for how business can be done in the future. It doesn't have to be winner takes all, grab what you can and leave the dying subjects by the roadside. So yeah, so that's I just want to put that out there also in this recording, because it is very important to me that an example is set with this whole project. And of course, we will do what we can within the boundaries of the laws of the land. That's the point. Otherwise, complaining and packing up is not what I want to do.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Any final words, Gio?
No, I'm good. This sounds good. It's all good. I'll send Mr. Sykes an email with my info, and I'll arrange a call with him.
Right. He will send an email with his info and arrange a call with you. And
as soon as you can get a more square and properly labeled footprint of your building and how many layers you want, then I can get a better concept.
Yes.
I realize what you drew is a typical concept drawing, and that's a start. A lot of people start with that, but
Yes. That's why I need to travel up to Vermont and sit with Gio and actually make things make sense.
right.
So
There's a lot of difference between 50,000 and 5,000 square feet. So it's a long way.
5,000 is probably not enough. So yeah, there is a lot of difference, and it's very hard for me to conceptualize that because I haven't been in these large spaces knowing what square footages I'm looking at. I mean, I've been in these large spaces, but I haven't had the numbers, and I will do my due diligence on that as well.
For instance, our building that you were in is 30,000 square feet, and it's exactly the size of a football field, 100 by 300.
It's big.
The building, the first building you ever built?
The factory. Didn't you come to the factory? Oh, you
No.
haven't been to the factory. Okay.
No, I have not been to the factory. I've been to the first inertia building that you built.
Oh, that was about 2,100 square feet.
Yes, that sounds about right.
Yeah, you need to come see the factory. Sure.
I will. I will jump into my car and go anywhere. I love traveling. Seriously. Okay. So I will certainly do that. And our next step is, just so that the two of you are clear on that, we need just kind of a rough conceptual drawing, and we need to know that we have the quality of both of your experiences on board for this concept, so that the financiers can exhale and know that they're in good hands. That's all.
Okay.
Everything else will follow. And, we have our numbers. And of course, like with any startup, because even this relaunch is like a startup, and of course the construction is a startup, a lot may change in the process. And what we're demonstrating right now is that we have a group of professionals on board that demonstrate the kind of quality we will use in terms of collaboration, even if one of you guys does not work out. So that's what this is all about. But of course, we would love to have this as the initial connection to collaborate on this wonderful project. All right. I am full of excitement, of course, but it's been my baby for a long time. And I look forward to the next meeting. Thank you so much for being here. And for those who are watching this later, thank you so much for being interested and involved. This is the very first meeting for Johanna's Raw Foods new factory 2021. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Okay. Goodbye, Joanna.
Goodbye, Mike.
All right, we'll talk to you later. Where can I get a copy of the meeting? So because I'd like to share it with our principal.
Of course. How we do that is by we're downloading it and uploading it to my YouTube channel, and there will be a link that Rahman will send to you, and then it's visible on the YouTube channel, but we're keeping it private so that it's not public.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So like I said, I'd like to review this with our principal, and then we'll get back to you. Okay? This is exciting. I love it. I think it's great.
Thank you so much, and I'm so excited because again, this thing will mutate according to what everybody needs and what the requirements need, right. Yeah. But at least the seed is there.
Yes, exactly.
Cool.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.